Hey, I'm Tom from Reaper, and you're listening to Collision on Voice FM.
How are you, Tom?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And so, can you tell me a little bit about Reaper? Like, how long have you guys actually been around?
So, we've been in a band for about a bit over a year. We formed back in February 2017, and we've just been going at it. We released our first single last year, and now we've just released our debut EP, Running Fit.
When was that released? 26th of February?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's only a couple of weeks old.
Yeah, so it's fairly fresh and it's doing really well for us, so we're all pretty stoked on it.
Yeah. And then with the release of that, you're about to head out on your first, I was going to say it's an East Coast tour, but it's actually, you're not going to Queensland, you're hooking around between South Australia, Victoria and New South Wales.
Yeah, so we were going to book Queensland, but we had other plans come up for Queensland a bit later in the year, and so we didn't want to be there, go home and, oh, hey, we're coming back again straight away and kind of pull that crowd away. Right. And so, yeah, we will be hitting Queensland, just not yet.
Ah. Well, you said you've been going for just over a year, and you just released your first EP and that. Can I ask, other than this tour you've got coming up, have you, been to Victoria or South Australia before?
No, this is our first time. So we've played Wollongong, Sydney, Thirroul, gone up to Newcastle and played up there, but this is our proper first, interstate sort of shows.
Right. And have you been in bands before Reaper?
Well, when I was a lot younger, when I was about 13, 14, I used to play in a band and would play a few shows at just local venues, but apart from that, this is all new to us.
Right. I'm just wondering, actually, what do you do in the band? Are you the vocalist?
No, I'm the drummer of the band.
The drummer, right. I like drummers.
Yeah. Bit of a Lars I am.
Yeah, if I was going to play an instrument, it would be drums, for sure.
All right. It's crazy. There's so many guitarists, and everyone that would play an instrument that doesn't want to play the drums, but then everyone that does play an instrument want to play guitar because they want to be like, oh, yeah, I'm a guitarist, look at me. But no, I'm back there just doing my thing.
Yeah. I reckon, if you're ever angry or anything like that, the drums are going to take care of that.
Yeah. Take care of it until you break something, and you're just more angry.
A lot of people don't want to play them, though, because unfortunately you have to have the biggest car, or you have to, when you go on tour, you have to use someone else's drum kit.
Yeah, it's a lot like that, and it's a bit of a pain, setting up the kits as well. The guitarist will just plug in and that'll be it, and you're just sitting there, setting up your pedals and setting up all your toms and your cymbals, and it's very timely playing the drums, but it's worth it. I really enjoy playing.
That's good. And I actually see that, is it your brother's in the band as well?
Yeah, my brother Chris, he plays lead guitar.
Right. So he's the person you've just been talking about with the guitar.
Yeah, pretty much. They all set up, Elijah, who's on vocals, he just stands there and waits, and, Michael will just plug his bass in and he'll just start mucking around, and Chris will do the same thing, and I'm just like, hey, you want to help? And oh, sorry, can't hear
you. The life of a drummer. And you're always hidden at the back, but I can tell you what, I've seen a lot of bands live, and I love a drummer who can really take my attention when they're on stage.
Yeah, well, I seem to do that pretty well. But you'll have to come out and watch us to find out. Yeah,
which you are actually, you're not just playing in Melbourne, which you are on the 17th of March. That's this weekend too. You're playing in Warrnambool the night before, the 16th.
Yeah, so we land in Melbourne on Friday, this coming Friday, and we play the Loft out in Warrnambool, and then we go back to Melbourne. We play Last Chance. And that got a really good lineup at Last Chance. We've got Black Jesus playing on that one as well. And then we go home, and then next week Canberra.
Right. See, now what I should say, because this interview is being played on the 16th, is, wow, you're in Warrnambool tonight and you've got to go and set your drum kit up.
Oh, good, yeah.
But you will be, when this is going to air, you will be drumming away in Warrnambool at the Loft.
Yeah.
And then so tomorrow night, the 17th of March, you're at Last Chance in Melbourne, and it's going to be your first ever Melbourne show, so Melbourne thrash fans definitely got to go out there and show you some support and some love.
Yeah, definitely. Tomorrow's going to be really good.
Yeah, yeah. Who did you say, sorry, is playing with you in Melbourne?
We've got Black Jesus playing with us up in Melbourne.
Right, should be
tomorrow.
fun.
So, it should definitely be good going at Last Chance, yeah.
And then, the 24th, you're in Canberra at the Basement.
Yep.
And the 15th of April, you've got a hometown show. You're from Wollongong, so Rad Bar in Wollongong. The 21st, you're at the small ballroom in Newcastle. I was going to say band room. The small ballroom in Newcastle. And then April the 22nd, you're at Frankie's Pizza in Sydney. Have you played there before?
Yeah, so we're based in Wollongong, so obviously Rad Bar would be our hometown, show of the tour, but Sydney, we probably play more in Sydney than we do in Wollongong, just because the metal scene is a lot bigger up in Sydney. And so Sydney's not too far from Wollongong. Sydney's about an hour and a half drive.
Yeah, awesome.
So, it's kind of like we've got two sort of hometowns.
Yeah. There's actually a few towns around Sydney that benefit like that, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely.
And, I mean, Frankie's Pizza, you can't beat free pizza and free music. Oh, people don't get free pizza. You probably get free pizza. Yeah,
free pizza, free beer. Can't go wrong.
But they never charge for the bands either, do they?
I'm not too sure. I couldn't tell you. We've never actually played Frankie's.
All right.
It's all kind of just come up. Like, I feel like from the release of Kill Them All, we've just kind of blown up a little bit. So we've kind of gone from sort of like this more underground to a bit above ground. And so we're playing all of these bigger shows to what we'd normally play. And,
Right. Yeah, well, I've never seen them actually have a door charge at Frankie's, so I'm going to assume it's a free show for the punters.
No, Frankie's is free entry.
Yeah.
I believe they pay bands by...
Oh, yeah, I didn't mean they don't not pay you. They pay you, okay. But people don't have to pay to come and see you.
No, Frankie's is free entry. Yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, the punters can't lose, you can't lose because you get free pizza.
Yeah, that's it, definitely.
Yeah. So it's always a good night at Frankie's. I've got to get up to Sydney one night and get to a show at Frankie's because
Frankie's is really awesome. It's just a good atmosphere. Look at the bands going. They got really good pizza, and just love going to Frankie's.
Yeah. Well, you said you've gone from an underground band to a above ground band quite quickly, which of course is the whole point of being in a band. You don't want to stay underground all the time. So, well, have you had time to think ahead at all? You just released the EP, you're starting to consider where you're going to go from here?
What happened was back in, I think, March, so we'd been a band for about a month at that point. We entered a university competition and we won the comp, and the first place was 3 free recordings at a local studio down here.
Right.
And so we were nowhere near ready to record these songs. At the time, we didn't really have any proper songs. And so we waited a bit. We kind of thought out, okay, let's wait till we actually write some decent material. We'll get it recorded, and then later on we'll record a few more tracks and release the EP. So we started off, we recorded 3 tracks. We recorded Burn, Kill Them All, and Reaper. And we decided to release Kill Them All as a single, and we released Kill Them All, and it's doing really well. So we thought, damn, we should actually get these 2 other songs done and pump out an EP. And as we were, recording these songs, we thought, hey, let's do an EP launch and let's tour Australia. And so it was a bit chaotic, booking the both at the same time, getting tracks recorded and mastered and booking shows and planning routes and doing budgets and all of that sort of stuff. And it was really, really hard few months in preparation of it all, but it's all starting to slow down and just become a lot easier because things are being done and you have to worry about them once they're done, and yeah, it's been good.
So you threw yourselves in the deep end and you're just starting to learn to swim and come up for air.
Yeah, something like that.
So we're going to have to keep an eye out and watch what you do while you figure out where you're going from here.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we plan to shoot for the stars, so just keep an eye out up there.
Yeah, and I guess if you're going to shoot for the stars, then jumping in with both feet is just the way to go, because you can't, overthink things.
That's it. And the main thing that we all believe is, you've got to stay out there. You can't really, fall off the face of the scene and then just come back and say, hey, we're playing another show. You've got to consistently, keep working, keep pushing content, anything out there, and try to keep on top of everything so that you're always there.
Well, you said earlier about your drumming that you're a Lars. So who are your main influences?
Probably Dave Mustaine in a bigger perspective of things. I love Megadeth and I've always been a Megadeth fan, and after watching countless interviews and how much passion that he would have into doing these sort of things, and just in a management sort of perspective, he kind of just did what it took to, get to where he is. And so that's why I kind of aspire to be like him.
Right. So you want to drive the band, sort of be self-catering, look after yourselves and push yourselves further.
Yeah. And the boys have had a bit of a hard time, keeping up with everything, because I've just kind of been pushing them. I've just been pushing and pushing, not in a negative way, but let's do more, let's get all this out there. And it's been hard for all of us to kind of keep on top of it all. But
you want to keep the momentum going.
Yeah, because once you slow down, it's not too easy to pick back up again.
No, exactly. I see actually on your timeline you've shared a King Parrot thing. Do you look to them and the way they've built themselves up as something you want to do?
Yeah, well, definitely, because after, before we actually played as a band, we weren't really in the scene at all. We weren't really like that. We didn't even consider it, and we all kind of liked metal, and King Parrot would always play at Dicey Riley's in Wollongong, and, we'd always see shows on there, and we'd always listen to them because, we really do enjoy their music and the way that they conduct themselves, whether it's, online, on stage, the way they do things, their videos and stuff. And, we kind of snuck into a show once and, we were watching them and it was them. We were just damn, let's get into this. Let's start a band and, let's get this going. And a lot of our original songs were really grindy and really punky and upbeat because of them.
Right.
They had a really big influence on us starting as a band, and as much as we loved it, it wasn't our style. And so we slowly progressed into the style which we have today, which is a more modern type of thrash metal.
I think that's probably one thing that King Parrot can teach people is you've just got to do what's right for you as a band. When it comes to the work ethic and keeping the momentum going, it's definitely a band to look up to because they never stop.
Yeah, that's it. They're just on tour after tour, releasing stuff constantly. They're consistently on top of the game, and so that's what I've seen from them, and that's what makes me want to strive to do that, considering how far they've come.
Well, I'll throw in now that I've got an interview with King Parrot right here on Collision on the 30th of March.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're doing well, and they're still playing down here. They're playing Dicey Riley's again soon, and so I'm keen to go watch them there. And I think they're playing a few shows up in Sydney, I've noticed as well. But yeah, overall, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, King Parrot, they pretty much started Reaper, I guess you could say.
Wow, awesome. And so, then at the moment you're going to be just focused, I guess, over the next 12 months. You're going to be happy to sit on the EP and work your butts off doing live shows more so than worry about getting in the studio again. Yeah. Well, that's the plan. We're thinking of trying to make it out to New Zealand sometime this year as well, and hopefully Indonesia and Singapore next year. Right. Yeah, get overseas, but not too far from home.
Yeah, and also Indonesia's got a really big metal scene over there. And Singapore is also supposed to be really good to play at. And also it's always been places that I've wanted to go myself.
Yeah. So you're going to have a working holiday?
Yeah. Well, it's not even work. Like, you know, it might seem like it is, but what more could you want to do than, you know, play shows around the world? So it's kind of like I could never see the band as work when it comes to, you know, doing shows and that sort of stuff.
No, you can see it as work when it comes to doing your taxes, though.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a working holiday for tax purposes.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, no, it's all going fairly well so far.
Yeah, well, I'll give out the dates again. It's like tonight, you're at the Loft in Warrnambool, 16th of March. Tomorrow night, the 17th, you're at Last Chance in Melbourne. And the 24th, the Basement in Canberra. The 15th of April, you're at Rad Bar in Wollongong, which is a hometown show. The 21st, you're at the Small Ballroom in Newcastle. And April the 22nd at Frankie's Pizza in Sydney.
Yeah.
Is there something you want to say to thrash metal fans out there to get them to come and check you out at your shows?
Yeah, honestly, you know, if you're keen to hear something a bit new, definitely come out and check us out. We love all the support that we get from everyone, and it'll be a good night. You know, come have a chat with us after the show, and yeah, let's have some fun.
Yeah, and facebook.com/ReaperAUS, and they can find your link to Bandcamp in your About section. They can give you a like and keep up with everything that you're going to do, especially Queenslanders for these unannounced shows they've got coming up this year.
Yes, definitely.
You guys make sure you have fun on this tour, and I'll be keeping an eye on you.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Awesome. It was good talking. You have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye.
Thanks. Hey, I'm Tom from Reaper, and you're listening to Collision on Voice FM.
And someone who may be losing their mind a little bit, Tom from Reaper. How you going, Tom?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too good, actually, at the same time.
Yeah, what have you done to yourself? What's this about falling downstairs?
Yeah, so we're moving some furniture, and I fell down a staircase backwards, and I tore a lot of tissue in my arm, and I've bruised my hip bone, and so I'm in a pretty bad state at the moment.
So you're in a lot of pain, but you've got shows tonight. Well, you're in Warrnambool right now, and then you've got Melbourne tomorrow night. So how are you going to get through that?
Yeah, it's very painful, but honestly, it would hurt a lot more to not play these shows. So we're just going to push through it, and we're going to do what we can. We're going to try and produce as best of a performance as we can.
Right. So have you had a little bit of a hit on your drums since you did the injury?
Well, I was kind of debating whether to or not. It was kind of like maybe I shouldn't touch him and, you know, just recover as much as I can before the show. Or it'll be like, yeah, let's have a bit of a crack and see how we go. And I ended up having a little bash, and it was not easy and not painful, but I think it's doable.
Right.
Definitely.
I guess it's different when you're in front of an audience too and the show's going on, because then you sort of get in a zone.
Yeah, definitely. And also, after all of the amount of work you've put in, and especially that sort of adrenaline, that feeling that you get when you're on the stage, you feel like you're in your place.
Yeah.
I guess.
It is funny because I've got your recorded interview coming up at 10 o'clock, and we did discuss how things can go wrong and how you have to learn to, you know, get over them or get around them. And, well, this is something pretty serious when you injure yourself the day before a couple of big shows. Yeah,
definitely. Like, today we had a lot go wrong and a lot go right. You know, we're starting off this bad series of events. I injured myself. Then we landed in Melbourne, and we couldn't hire the hire car. We had a lot of problems with that, and we ended up getting the smallest car they had. And then we were packing the car, and Michael's bass tipped on the road and it got ran over by a car. And thankfully the bass is okay, and Ed is in it's in a hard shell case, but like thankfully it is okay. And everyone's all right. No gear is broken badly. It's all usable, and then we couldn't find parking and this and that, and then it's just a bit of a kerfuffle.
And we were talking off air. You guys are playing in Warrnambool tonight, but then you're driving back to Melbourne to your hotel.
Yeah. So we couldn't end up getting a room in Warrnambool just because it was out of budget, and it was cheaper to book 2 nights at the same place. And so we've got to drive out to Warrnambool and then drive back after the show and come back to our hotel down here in Melbourne. Yeah,
and these are your first ever Victorian shows, and you know what? They are going to be memorable.
Yes, definitely memorable, 100%. We're very excited to be out here. We're very keen to be playing with the support that we've got on all these shows, and it should definitely be a good time.
Do you know what time you're on tonight?
Tonight we go on at, I believe, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. So you'll be going on air at Collision and on stage in Warrnambool at the same time.
Yeah, yes, coincidentally.
Well, then people in Warrnambool, if they're listening right now, they've still got time to get down there and see you and support you. And like you guys, you've been through a lot to put this show on tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, if you just want to support us, come down if you can. Like, it means a lot to us. We've put in a lot of hard yards to get out here for you guys, but definitely should be a good show.
And it's the Loft in Warrnambool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's at the Loft.
And I haven't got it in front of me right now. Melbourne tomorrow night, where are you playing?
Melbourne will be at Last Chance Rock and Roll. That's
right, yep.
And I'm not too sure what time we go on tomorrow.
Well,
but it's all on the Facebook page. You can check out all the details there.
Awesome. Well, tomorrow night I'm sure you're going to be in a whole world of pain, but I'm sure like both nights you're going to give 100%. So Victorians, get down there and support these guys on their first ever Victorian shows.
Definitely. Thank you. Appreciate it, heaps.
And I hope you guys get, like, things go well from here on in for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, we honestly, we're praying. We've had a bit of an uplift since all of the bad stuff, had a few nice things happen, the free stuff at the hotel, they delivered like some presents because, they wanted to say thank you for staying with us. And, so it's a bit like a roller coaster today.
Yeah, well, I have a bit of a theory. There are no bad days, only bad moments, and you've had your share this weekend, so it's all good from here.
Definitely have. So we should be in the clear from here.
Awesome. You guys are tough, and look forward to seeing you myself live one day. But we are going to play a track. We do, of course, have the interview coming up with you, the full interview later. But right now we're going to play a track off your EP, and I am going to play Nemesis from Reaper. And, you're on Collision. Thanks a lot, Tom. You have a good night.
Thank you. You too.